Welcome. I'm AJ Mirzad, and this is the Super Coach Show. Today we have a very, very special guest on the line. His name is Pedram, also known as PD, the Crypto Genie. He is a mastermind in so many different ways. He's actually my personal crypto coach. He's got a very, very inspiring story of how he went from $30,000 to 3 million in 13 months with crypto. And I first connected with Pedram, I think it was maybe a year or two ago. We're both in the fitness industry, and he was doing fitness, marketing coaching, high ticket coaching. And then all of a sudden I saw this transition where in his stories, he's posting about crypto in his wins, and he's literally showing his accounts. I invested 2,000. Now it's 20,000. I just made $200,000. It really fascinated me and perked my interest. And from that point on, I said, I really need to work with this guy. I just felt in my heart that he knows what he's doing. I am obsessed with crypto, and he's a few steps ahead of me. So how can I learn from him? Make a long story short, about a month ago, I jumped into his program, and it blows my mind. Just the amazing results, and I'll get more into that very, very shortly. But first and foremost, PD, I want to thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. And I want to make a small caveat to what you said. It is definitely mine and Mario's program. I would not claim it to be all mine by any means. He's the mastermind when it comes to implementation of the process that we'll talk about a little bit later on. For me, it was more a matter of aligning myself with someone who does something so different than what I do, and for us to come together and create something that can help people on both ends of the spectrum. So I appreciate the welcome. I just want to make it clear that it's not just me. I don't want to take all that ownership of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Mario. He's been a phenomenal mentor to me, and both of you guys have helped me tremendously, because just what you guys created in this program, the amount of value and the results are unreal. And just to kick things off, if you're watching this, let us know where you're watching it from. And PD, I'm going to ask you a question. What is a quote or a mantra that fires you up?
I wouldn't say necessarily fires me up, but something that I live by. I focus on less is more. I think everyone wants so much that they focus on how can I accumulate all these different things or these ideas or these strategies or implementations. And for me, it's like, how can I do the thing that I do really, really well as often as I can to increase my odds of success? Because I see people trying to work always on their weaknesses and neglecting their strengths. And the more amount of time they spend working on their weaknesses, the less their strengths have the opportunity to shine. And so it's something that I've taught people for a long time, whether it was through fitness, actually helping people with their health, or whether it was helping fitness coaches build their businesses and build something that was meaningful to them, or whether that's helping people in investing in crypto. Obviously, none of this is financial advice, but it's just coming to a point where you understand that not always doing more is going to provide you more. And that's the reason why I started sharing my crypto journey, was that you can do less and make significantly more as long as you know what you're doing and you enjoy doing it and you can do it all the time. You'll have a lot of success. So I think that's been a huge contributor in my success.
I love that. I love that. You know, my mantra is simplify to multiply, and simplicity is key, right? In everything in life, if you could take your fitness and health habits and simplify those, your financial habits, and have a very specific framework to follow that's always going to give you the result, it's a lot easier to go along. And one thing I wanted to discuss is even crypto on its own. I feel like it's quite a polarizing topic. It's polarizing as talking about Trump. You know, I made a post about my love for crypto and how I am slowly and surely transitioning all of my fiat, all of my stocks, pretty much all my assets into pure crypto. And I had literally people fighting me. They were debating me. They were angry. You're crazy. You're gambling. You know what the hell you're doing to lose all your money. And I would love to get your take, because you, like me, are on the same page. But we see something a lot of people don't see.
Well, one thing I will say is this. crypto is a really volatile asset class, and it's incredibly difficult for someone who doesn't know how to manage volatility to stay in this asset class. So I will say this, there's plenty of people who make a great living on real estate. There's plenty of people who make a great living on stocks. They make a great living on longing and shorting the market, even trading crypto. But as far as I'm concerned, there's just a lot of fucking noise, excuse my language. And that noise is a huge distraction. So the thing is like, you have to know what your lane is, what your risk tolerance is, what your willingness and timeline are in terms of waiting this thing out. I've seen a lot of really good people go kind of crazy mentally, emotionally, spiritually with the ups and downs of crypto. And it's just not for them, to be honest with you. Like you can try to encourage people to want to have the success in crypto that you've had or that I've had. But some people are just not wired or built for that level of stress and anxiety that comes with crypto. And I think that's one of the things that I like to share within my message is how to weather the storm mentally and emotionally. So all that to be said, I mean, my family for the entirety of the bear market, 2018, 19, and the beginning of 2020, while COVID was happening. I mean, that's when I really went all in, was COVID. I saw what was happening when a lot of people thought I was a conspiracy theorist. Now they're all wanting to pay me for my suggestions and my advice. So it's really ironic. But I can tell you this, you have to understand your risk tolerance. If you don't have a high tolerance to risk, you should not really be in crypto, to be honest with you. Even Bitcoin is incredibly volatile. But if you are understanding that the price to pay for life-changing wealth is volatility, then you'll understand how to quell those emotions a little bit and allow for yourself to have the bandwidth to manage it. So obviously I'm all in on crypto. I won't say that all of my fiat is currently in crypto right now because I realized in 2020 that taxes are going to be a massive burden. So I'm preparing myself for what taxes could be, but I'm also planning for the future and how to manage that as well. But all that to be said, like, I would not focus on what anyone is telling you around you. You need to make your decisions based on what you find to be valuable, what you understand really well, and more importantly, what you believe in. Because if you don't, then you'll just let the noise around you allow for you to capitulate when things get difficult, and then you will definitely lose your money. So if there's people around you that are telling you what to do, you should just stop listening to everyone and go do your homework.
That's an excellent point, bro. Like myself, I started really heavily investing in stocks about a decade ago. So of course, when you initially start, you win some, you lose some. But over the years, I've developed this resilience where if I lose money, it doesn't really mess with me. You know, let's say I invest, I lose $10,000. Okay, 10K down, but I don't get emotionally involved. And what you were saying reminded me of my girlfriend because she has this passion into crypto as well. So I said, hey, make a little account and start trading. And she did a trade that didn't go what she expected. And she's like, that's it. I'm not doing this anymore. She fought with me for a day. She was angry. It was like, you know, like I screwed her over in some way. I said, listen, you don't understand. You have to be stoic about this.
Yeah. And I think there's a huge component to that. Resilience is a byproduct of conviction, right? And the expectation someone has because they entered the market that they should win is the reason why so many fail. I'm in the market now, and this isn't your girlfriend or anybody. This is just the general consensus. I've had hundreds and hundreds of connections through crypto and had so many conversations with people. And the thing that I find is the prevailing thought process and why so many people get screwed over. It's like buying a coaching program that wasn't a good one. You got burnt. Well, you didn't do your homework. You didn't understand what you were investing in. You were buying with your emotions. You had expectations that were supposed to yield you a positive result because you invested. The market doesn't give a damn about who you are. The market's job is to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people most of the time. And that means that market psychology, let's put it to you this way. Casinos exist because people lose to the house odds. The house odds are pretty damn close to 50-50, but people keep losing to the point that casinos exist. right? And they're damn lavish. They're not these rinky-dink pieces of shit that you walk into that you barely can walk around and before you want to leave. They're beautiful places that are making amazing amounts of profit. Well, the market is very, very similar. Mm-hmm. Its tendencies is to understand human psychology and create patterns within the markets that can shake the most amount of people out, lose the most amount of money for most people, because people come in with an expectation that with no knowledge, no understanding, or no skill set, I can come in and automatically make money at this exact time. You know how many people come to me, AJ, and they're like, well, what are the best things to get in right now? Like, I'm here now. Well, I've been talking to you for 9 months. Now you decided to get in when the market's 6x, 7x, 8x. And now you want me to make perfect predictions for you. I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. Number one, my vision has always been big picture. So I think if people can move expectations out of the way and can raise and increase their standard of execution, their experience in life, whether it's relationships, business, or investments, will always, always be better, which is why I don't have huge expectations for what my portfolio will get to. I'm just executing the plan, and whatever results will come from that, I will be happy with, as long as I execute the plan the way that I planned it.
I love that. That's a brilliant point. And speaking of expectations, really how I got so much more involved in PD and Mario's world was I was in their Facebook group, and I would say this was April 23rd. It was a Friday night. They were promoting this masterclass webinar, and it was kind of vague. It was like, all right, we're doing this webinar to show you how to find obscure coins that are going to rise up and skyrocket. And it wasn't much said about it, but in my world, I'm like, okay, I'm a marketer. These guys are doing a webinar. Are they selling something at the webinar? But wait a minute, they're charging for the webinar. And it wasn't a small investment, it was a moderate investment just for the information. I don't know what happened, but my intuition kicked in and said, you have to be on this masterclass. And I think I signed up like 2 hours beforehand. And I will tell you guys, it was the best investment I made this year, because I was a bit of a newbie when it came to crypto, and Mario and PD really taught me a powerful formula on how to trade and really understand the market in a far more sophisticated way. And within implementing their formula and being a part of their amazing group, all of a sudden I started seeing results very quickly. I could say with honesty, in the past 7 days, I've made more in crypto than I've done my entire life. And I've become extremely obsessed. Before I was like, 1 or 2 hours a day obsessed. Now I'm 8 hours a day obsessed. I wake up, I take naps, I sleep, I eat, I think about crypto all the time. It's so fascinating to me. And I really want to thank you guys, because, that one class really was the catalyst for me to just grow in the space.
Yeah, man, I love hearing that. And I want to clarify something, because I think this is really important. And Mario and I talk about this all the time. Mario deals in shit coins. I deal in value investing. The key here is to not try to make life-changing wealth. It's to learn how to weed out the shit that will take your money. The number one rule in investing is don't lose your money. The second rule in investing is follow rule number one. And so our intention wasn't to help people make moonshot money. We just realized that if we can help you avoid the risks and the downfalls of not understanding the math behind how to get rid of the shit, the real shit in the shit coins, that you have a higher probability of picking coins that can make you life-changing wealth. Like Mario, for example, we were talking before this call started, actually, he had put $1,000 into this coin called SHIB, which is Shiba Inu, I believe. I can't even pronounce it, right? So at the time that he had put the money in, from then to today, it would be worth $588,000 within a month. And the reason why he was able to pick this, and he actually sold at 50x. So he only made $50,000 on $1,000 in a couple weeks. So not that great, right? Anyways, so the way that he was able to pick that, and 4 or 5 other coins within a month, that took him from literally $90 to over $340,000 of profit in a month.
Wow.
Was implementing a process that reduced the odds of getting rug pulled, which is essentially buying coins that people will liquidate immediately and take their money out of, which you can't then sell, right? And that's happening a lot because there's a lot of people that are seeing these life-changing gains that are happening, that are wanting to chase these shit coins to potentially make some money off of it, but instead are losing their ass. Like you said, your girlfriend put her money in and immediately lost the money. And what happens? That person now retracts and leaves the market and now makes decisions based on the mistake that they made versus the vision that they have. And so we want to keep people in the game. We want you to realize that if you can stay in this game, you will make so much freaking money. No, we're not promising you the gains. No, we're not promising you the picks. We're literally showing you how to fish and to weed out the garbage that's going to be wasting your time and losing your money so that you have the confidence and conviction to stay in the game. And I do the same thing when it comes to value investing. The people that I work with on an individual basis and the stuff that I'll be implementing into this course is really teaching the exact same fundamentals, but just from a value investing standpoint of how you can then take the profits that you've made on these absolute shit coins and convert them into projects that actually have real-time use case.
I love that, Pete. That's a great distinction. And for those of you that are confused with what a shit coin is, it's essentially a coin with no real inherent value. Think about Dogecoin, right? It's like a meme coin, but essentially you could trade these coins and you become very profitable. You could also lose your ass. That is one thing that Mario, I feel, is world-class at, and I've learned a lot from him in trading those type of coins. Then you have value investing, in which PD is a master of, and there's obviously different philosophies to go about both methods. You want to focus on both methods as well. I personally, right now, what I'm doing is I'm taking all the profits from the shit coins and just buying more Bitcoin and Ethereum, So I'm just trying to transfer into that and just think about the long haul. But PD, I would love for you to share just some, I guess, philosophical points about value investing.
Yeah. So a lot of people in crypto will chase pumps, right? Because obviously they want to make money quickly. And when you're in the crypto market, money quick is kind of the allure, right? So for me, the way that I have essentially gone from $30,000 to my name to well over 3 million today, within barely over a year, was my willingness to put money into places that were distressed and undervalued, that hadn't moved for a long time. And all they've done is basically gone down. And the reason why I was able to do that was because I understood the use case of these projects in terms of how they change the way that we look at money, the way that we look at the internet, the way that we look at finance in general, the way that we look at art, collectibles. There's so much in this world that has the potential of innovation. And a lot of people just weren't looking at it because they were too far into their fear. And for me, value investing, number one, starts with being able to decipher what you should actually be afraid of and what you shouldn't. And within that space, then understanding how can these things provide value long-term, and how can I get into these projects before people know about them or before people are investing in them so that I can make the long-term upside. Many examples of this, from Theta to Aave to Synthetics. I mean, a lot of people are like looking at projects like Synthetics now that's at $17 or $18 and saying that it's not moving. But when I bought it, it was $4 to $5. And so, for me, when I'm at multiples of my money, I'm happy to wait, right? And that's the whole point, is to get ahead of the curve and to buy when no one's buying it, when to understand the value of what it can provide in terms of derivatives or banking or collectibles or art, whatever the case is, and seeing how can these things actually play out in the long term? Where do they fit in terms of their use case? And how come nobody's buying it right now? Is it just a fear factor that the market just generally has fear in it? Or is it that these projects aren't good? And in my mind, it was just the market was in a fearful state from 3 years of bear market, where people were dealing with every time it went up, it came back down, and they basically capitulated. That is the point of the market, is to get the investor to capitulate so that they leave and they lose their money and they don't come back. Or if they do come back, they're so fearful of making the same mistake that they continue to make that mistake, because everything that they do is to prevent the mistake, which is exactly how you make it. So when I look at value investing, it's how can I buy distressed, undervalued assets that have long-term use case that people may or may not see the value of right now, but they'll be pouring money into it after at 5 to 10x's.
I love that. Love that. Now, are there any books or resources that helped you understand value investing much better?
To be honest with you, it's more of a psychology that I've had in general about life and business that led me to this. I want to be very honest. I know most people are going to be like, well, what books has he read, or what courses has he taken? Who's he worked with? I've had no mentors. I've taken no courses. I've read no books. I've lived it. I've experienced it. I've grinded within this industry for 4.5 years, losing my ass 3 of those years, losing everything for 3 years. You know, the most valuable lesson in life is failure. And most people are afraid to fail, so they don't actually learn the lessons that are worth learning. And I could write books. I could do webinars. I could do all these things, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to share it with people. I wanted to provide the resources and the value that I've learned from losing for so long that's provided me the opportunity to win. And if I can tell you guys anything, yes, I'm here to help people shorten their time span in terms of failing and losing so that they can make money sooner. But at the same time, the most valuable asset you'll ever have in life is your willingness and ability to fail, and take the lessons from them so that you don't continue to make those same mistakes. And when you can do that, you actually create something that's yours, that you can own and really embody, versus projecting someone else's information, taking someone else's conviction, because those things will waver. When things get difficult, you won't have the backbone to survive from it. And so right now, I'm just a byproduct of 3.5 years of struggling and failure and losses, coming to a point where nothing has changed for me. My perspective has stayed the exact same. My approach has stayed the exact same. The way I treat people has been the exact same. My willingness to help people is the same level. Nothing has changed. Now the results are just different. And most people don't have the bandwidth or the patience to wait for that, because they don't believe in what they're doing, because they don't think that it's their own idea. And most of the time it's not.
Wow, that's so beautifully said. You know, that really hit me deep. And I do think about myself, and the greatest lessons that I've learned, there was shortly after failure, how not to do things. And there are so many times, like in the past, I'd be in analysis paralysis, weighing out all the different possibilities, and then I would hesitate and wouldn't do a damn thing. Now, let's say in crypto, I'm investing, I'm putting money in, taking money out. It's a whole different ball game when you have skin in the game. And I'm learning at such a rapid pace that I would say that I was like a stark newbie a month ago, and I'm pretty moderate now, and I'm surprised how quickly I learned, but I'm learning so much by doing.
100%. And I give you a lot of credit. You know, you could have thought we were scammers and not signed up for the program. You didn't have to join my Facebook group when I made it. You had an interest to learn. And because you had that willingness to learn, you put your resources on the line. You put skin in the game, you put your time and energy, and you're an incredible asset in terms of just the community in and of itself. The way your willingness to share, your willingness to show up and support people and provide resources and help as well. Those attributes about you are what define your success, not the results of your crypto gains. And so the crypto gains just lag behind in terms of your willingness to show up. And I think a lot of people just think, well, because I'm in the market, because I invested, because my ego is now involved, that I should be successful. When in reality, it's how you show up every day, what energy you provide, what willingness you have to fail, what resources you're willing to put on the line to get where you're at. And the results are paying off for themselves, man. And I give you all the credit for that.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that. And I think it's really a reflection of what you and Mario created, because within your program, it's such a beautiful community. There's so much support, and I try to be as supportive as possible. If there's someone who's stuck on an issue, maybe they can't get their wallet figured out, I will make a Loom video and send it to them. I'll hop on a call. Let's do a screen share. I love giving because I'm obsessed. I have a lot of conviction. And even when I teach someone some basic stuff that I learned like 2 weeks ago, it just feels so good. And I feel like that's kind of like the universal thing. You guys don't have any takers. Everyone's a giver. And when you have a community of givers and you're winning together and learning together, it's such a beautiful thing.
Yeah. If anything, you know, aside from the actual program itself, aside from the method and strategy that we implement, man, Mario and I are so incredibly proud and humbled by this community that we've created. I mean, this community is entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, CEOs, you know, and we're talking shit coins, right? And so like everyone coming together, successful minds coming together to implement a strategy, to help one another, to find the gold within the shit and to share it with each other. And at the level in which it's being done, at the level of activity that's happening within the program itself, the community, the conversations, it is mind blowing. You know, we've both been coaches in programs, I'm sure, for a long time. And I don't speak in hyperbole. I'm a very direct and honest and transparent person. That's just how I live my life. And that's why we're on this call, honestly.
Yes.
It is the most active, supportive, engaged group inside of a program I have ever seen. And it's not even close. There is no competition. It is people literally wanting to move the needle in their lives, and they can see the benefit of doing it together, which is truly, truly remarkable. And beyond the financial success of this and beyond the results of this, that fulfillment, knowing that we've created something that has staying power, that has energy behind it, that doesn't always have to be myself and Mario. And then we could talk about the business side of things, this thing forever, because to create the business side of this thing is something I'm so, so proud of. There was no sales done. We didn't try to sell anybody anything. We made one post inside of my Facebook group. And from that post, we had like 190 people raise their hand. We launched a masterclass. 50 people bought it in 24 hours. We made no sales pitches. We literally told people not to buy it because we didn't want them to lose money if they were scared to lose money. We sold another 50 in 2 days after that. We sold another 50 in the next week after that. We're well on our way to sell another 50. And like I told you before, we didn't even launch our funnel yet.
It's literally a checkout page with the price.
That's it. And this is all done organically, all done simply from our audiences, seeing the results, the benefits of our clients within the program reach these results so incredibly quickly. Like every day there's a 3 to 5 to 10x. And I'm not guaranteeing these results. These people did the work. They implemented the system. They came together. They worked together to make this work. So like that is insanity on so many levels. You can literally take $80 like Mario did and turn it into what would have been $800,000 today. In fact, it's only around 350 and in a month or two. Like it's possible, but it's not in any way guaranteed. And in no way do I want people to come in with that expectation, because that's not what's going to serve you. Like if you come into this program and expect to have things handed to you and for yourself to make the gains, like I can give you the playbook, but you got to learn how to run the plays or it's never going to be your game.
Yeah, so beautifully said, you know, and of course, from my own personal experience, I've been an entrepreneur for 16 years now. So I've been in and out of various programs, communities, and everything PD's saying is 100% spot on. It is the most engaged, giving, just the amount of results. I don't know if you guys can keep up with all the screenshots, you know, because literally every 15 minutes, someone has a win. I got to win. I got to win. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. First of all, that's very inspiring. Second of all, we want more people into this, because when something is amazing, it's in my heart to tell the whole world about it. It's one of the reasons why, you know, we're having this podcast right now. I must have referred at least 20 people into the program ever since I joined. I have zero, I guess, need for them to join other than for them to open up their mind and change their philosophy. And a lot of people are, you sure? They're hesitating a little bit. I say, trust me, trust me, trust me. This is an incredible investment. You'll be very, very happy because the value is unreal. And then once they join, they'll send me a voice memo. They'll call me. Thank you so much. Holy cow. I didn't know this thing existed. Thank you for telling me about it. You know, and it's like, for me, I really feel every single person should have financial independence. And if there's a method to help people gain financial independence, understand how the monetary system works, then I want to tell more people about it because, you know, I'm not saying money solves all problems, but it solves most problems, right? And a lot of people day to day, if they had a system and an understanding of wealth and where it's going with the future of crypto, I can't say enough good things about it.
I appreciate that, man. And I appreciate you spreading the word and helping more people become aware of this. I would say, and this is just me coming as, you know, one of the business owners in this program, is that if someone was to come to me and ask me, should I do it, should I not, I would tell them no. And the reason why I say that is because if you're uncertain coming into this, then you're going to show up uncertain in your process. And buying crypto is easy. Selling it is not. And so a lot of people think, well, once I get in, I'm good. Well, if you don't know how to sell, when to sell, how to take profits, then none of it matters. And so I appreciate all of the kind, wonderful things that you're saying. And I do believe everything that you're saying is true. But if anyone has any questions, don't buy it. We literally want people in this program that want to be in the program, that want to learn this process, that want to collaborate with others, that want to provide value to others, that want to create the potential for life-changing wealth if they put the work in. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in 10 days, but it might. You don't know. With shit coins, like SHIB is up like 500% in the last 3 days.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that could potentially be life-changing wealth for someone. Am I saying that we're going to tell you that's going to happen? Absolutely not. And if you think it's going to and you expect it to, then don't join. But if you want to learn a process, implement a system, be part of an amazing community of entrepreneurs, successful CEOs, just human beings that have just tremendous hearts and are willingness to put their time and effort to help others, then sure, we'd love to have you. But otherwise, this is not a sales pitch. And we certainly don't want you to think that we need anyone to join this program. We want people who want to be in this program to be a part of it.
Yeah, totally. If anything, it's like an anti-sales pitch because, you know, you have a person who's very skeptical and they're just hesitating so much. You put them in a group full of action takers, all of a sudden it spoils everyone because they're being negative, they're complaining. Everyone's like, who's this idiot inside here? You know, get him out of here because it just takes that one person to screw it all up.
Yeah, and the community is everything. Like we've talked about, this community is everything to this program. And we literally don't want a bad apple. I mean, one bad apple will spoil the bunch. And quite honestly, we have an incredible bunch of human beings with no spoiled apples. And we want to keep it that way. And we honestly can keep it that way because Mario and I don't need the money.
Yeah.
And in reality, we just want to help awesome people help each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So PD, we're going back and forth about this. I just want to get clarity. It'd be really interesting for other people to understand this as well. You know, you're very transparent and I get so inspired when I see your stories and see all the possibilities. So you went from 30,000 to 3 million. You currently have 52 Bitcoin, but you are also making upwards of $100,000 to $200,000 a day just from holding your coins. And I'm still, you know, even though I messaged you about it, I'm like, this is really inspiring, but is there a way you could kind of break down on how that is?
Well, I think it's the process I've implemented in terms of my holding strategy. So I'm not a day trader. I don't have the bandwidth for it. I personally enjoy my quality of life. And that's why I retired. So to be completely transparent, I had $30,000 to my name around COVID of 2020.
I'm sorry. The 30,000 you put in, it was like all the money you had?
No. I had $30,000 to my name, period. Okay. Over the period of time when COVID happened, my business I was coaching other online fitness coaches really took off because when COVID happened, I pivoted really, really hard and started talking to the emotional side of the business and started really talking to people about things that were actually important and helping them be leaders in a time of massive uncertainty. And little do you know, our business was doing probably like, I don't know, $30,000 or $40,000 a month gross, maybe cash collected with a lot of expenses. So there wasn't a ton of money being made, to over the next year doing over $2.5 million of sales cash collected because of that pivot. And so things happened very quickly for me. I pivoted in business due to COVID. And then I took every dollar that I started to earn in business and poured it into cryptocurrency because I saw the byproduct of money printing. I saw what was going to happen. I have screenshots of all my purchases in May or March, April, May, June, July, August, September. I was just, every dollar I was earning. I remember towards start of June 2020, I was making about $50,000 a month from where we were.
Wow.
And literally, I was putting every single dime that I was earning into crypto with the mindset of, I'll make another 50 next month. I'll make another 50 next month, and I'll save that money. But every time that month came, I was like, nope, buying $50,000 more. Nope, buying more. So I poured in probably close to, in the last year, probably around $450,000 of my own money. And the only money that I have left is money that I'm saving for taxes that I have to pay for 2020. So I have been all in. Like there is absolutely been zero doubt in my mind about where cryptocurrency is going, about the value of why digital assets are so incredibly valuable to our future and what they're going to represent in terms of Web 3.0, in terms of decentralized finance, in terms of so many different asset classes within this major asset class. And so I did not turn 30K into 3 million. I went from having 30K to my name to being worth well over $3 million right now within 13 months. And I don't claim, well, I made a 1,000x on coins and I put like $5,000 in. I take more pride in the fact that I put all of my money in, and it was a lot of it, because I believed wholeheartedly that this was going where I thought it was going to go, when everyone in my life was telling me I was an idiot. Everyone in my life was telling me, what are you fucking doing? Stop risking all your money. You're going to go broke again, because I went broke from this in 2018, 19, and 20.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I turned, in 2017, I didn't have a whole lot of money, but I bought Ethereum for the first time at $69. I bought Litecoin for the first time at $25. I took $18,000 of total invested money in 2017 and made that into $180,000 from April 29th of 2017 to December 31st of 2017. I 10x'd my money. So I was feeling very guilty that I had not bought more. And so what happened? I was trained as I got into the market in the heat of the bull run that anytime it dipped, to buy it because it would go back up. And so in a bear market, you do not buy the dips. However, I did for 2.5 years. Wow. So every time it went down, I would buy it. It would come up. I was like, yes, I'm going to keep buying on the way up. And then it would come back down again. It was the opposite of what happens in the bull market. Every time it goes up, it comes back down. In this case, every time it goes down, it goes back up. And so when you learn things from the way that I did in the 6 months that I did, I felt invincible. I 10x my money. Every time it went down, it went back up. Every time I bought, it was the right time. I was a genius. 2018, 19, and 20, at the beginning of 2020, I was not so much of a genius because it kept going down every time I bought it. So I put an extra $150,000 in that time period. And basically going into 2020, had $16,000 left in my crypto account. From the 180 that I made and the 150 that I put in on top of that, it was worth $16,000. And I bought over $450,000 in 2020 worth of crypto, even after all of that, because I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care what anybody said. I didn't care what anybody was telling me. I didn't care if I went bankrupt again. I was going to make this work because I saw the value of it. And when you talk about value investing, you've got to be able to see the writing on the wall before there's even any writing on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally seeing around corners, and I think about where I was, and if I had to literally put like my life savings in a crypto at that time, I wouldn't do it, and obviously it's showing you like you saw this vision that most people didn't see, and it paid off handsomely. And now I'm seeing that vision. Now I'm becoming obsessed and saying, wow, the future is crypto. And anyone that says no, it's kind of like saying no to the internet. It's such an unstoppable force that you're either got to get on it or you get decimated.
Yeah.
And I would love to hear just when you have been just investing over the past year, is there like a specific pattern or trend that you found is working well for you?
Mainly my investments have been in DeFi.
Okay.
So decentralized finance is the area that I've focused the majority of my energy and time. Essentially, the Ethereum ecosystem. As you can see, Ethereum is going crazy right now, and all of my time and money has been rewarded because the majority of my money went into Ethereum, Aave, Synthetics, Compound, all these different DeFi protocols on top of Ethereum. And so now I'm extending out even further into projects like Rook and Armor, looking for insurance protocols to be able to secure DeFi, because essentially DeFi is people's trust and willingness to move their money into a different financial system, which is decentralized, which is new and foreign to everything that they've ever known. And so within that, there's going to be little byproducts or little businesses or niches or needs in terms of services to create security, which is through insurance. So Armor is a great protocol for decentralized finance insurance. And so I'm looking at how do you create a new financial landscape? How do we create the new DeFi or the new financial institutions decentralized? And what components of traditional finance does decentralized finance need to be able to implement, right? Derivatives, lending, borrowing, liquidity. Like these are all really, really critical components to creating the new financial landscape. And so I put my money there, and I have been rewarded many, many, many times over. And I'm just continuing to hold. You said, how do I make $100,000 to $200,000 a day? It's not every day, right? Some days I lose $500,000 in an hour,
Wow.
right? The market I remember, I think it was a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, everybody was losing their mind. The market was tanking.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I lost $500,000 in an hour and 10 minutes. And then I bought $40,000 more.
Wow.
I don't think people understand the level of conviction that I have. And that $40,000 more that I bought is worth, I think, almost $65,000 now since I bought that. And that's how my money goes up. I buy the fuck out of the dips. I don't buy the pumps. I let my money grow. When I have an opportunity to take profits, I will take it into Ethereum or Bitcoin, but I'm not ready yet. Altcoin season has just begun. Altcoin season has just begun. We have not seen anything yet. And if you guys go back to my stories, to my timeline, you will see that I have been talking about Ethereum, DeFi, altcoin season. I have been prepared, and now I'm being rewarded, and it's not too late.
I love that. Love that. Woo! That's so much optimism, right? There's just so much opportunity out there. And dude, I can literally talk to you about this for hours and hours a day, because the more I'm learning from you, the more obsessed I get. And I truly love your conviction, because now it's like you're transferring that conviction to me. And I want everyone to understand, like, this is just the tip of the iceberg, but I would highly suggest you check out the course. I actually put on a special link for you guys. It's onlinesupercoach.com/crypto. So if you're running, if you're driving, if you're on the toilet right now, onlinesupercoach.com/crypto. And then when you go on the website, you'll get a lot of the show notes and the resources that PD and I mentioned. So to close things off, I like to just ask a very intuitive based question, but I ask you a lot of different questions. Is there something I did not ask you that I should have asked you?
No, I think you really did a great job, honestly. As far as I'm concerned, it's not about me. Like you said, there was a really valuable thing that you said, and I think that's why I do what I do is to be able to share my conviction so that others can borrow it and extend the quality of their life. And it's not about me. My story is the leverage others need or maybe can use to better improve the quality of their life. And I'll use that story. And it's an honest, transparent one. But absolutely, man, you did a great job. And I appreciate all the questions that you asked. And this was a great opportunity to share the message and the story. And for those of you who want to join us, we'd love to have you. For those of you that are unsure and scared or insecure about it, don't do it. Okay, just don't do it. Because quite honestly, you got to have the gumption and literally the fortitude internally to be able to weather the storm of crypto. When I say things are going to still have way more room for going up, it doesn't mean that they can't come down first. So no promises are made in this space. No guarantees are made. It's just my conviction. And if you want to borrow it because it feels right to you, then I hope that it works for you.
Absolutely. Spot on. And I'm going to put Mario and Pedram's links, their social medias, on the show notes so you can follow them. I watch every single one of their stories because that's where I get my inspiration from. And they share a lot. There's a lot of value in there because you kind of learn the dynamics of what they do. So I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, not just for this podcast, but for helping me, because you've been a great mentor over the past month and you have such a giving nature. You truly care. And it's just amazing to see like your level of conviction, but also inspiring hundreds of other people to make a big change in their life. And I think about just all of the wealth that's being created right now, just in the group alone, but the potential wealth and how many more lives are going to be affected in a very positive way. It's like incredible what you and Mario are doing, and just it's echoing to so many people at once.
I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. The Moonshot retreat is going to be fucking awesome.
I'm in. Wherever it is, I'm 100% there.
100%. Awesome, brother.
Appreciate you.